The Drake Curse. Whenever Drake shows up for a team wearing their jersey, posting a photo, or giving a pep talk, fans hold their breath. Why? The superstition says, if Drake supports you, you're doomed. College football found this out the hard way in 2019. It's called the Drake Curse. By January 2019, Alabama was 14-0, undefeated. They had just beaten Oklahoma in the Orange Bowl semifinal and were the #1 team in the country. Then came Drake. Just days before the big game, he posted a video wearing an Alabama sweatshirt and telling the team they had this in the bag. Fans knew what that meant. Drake had backed other teams before, like Serena Williams, the Toronto Raptors, Conor McGregor, and somehow, they all fell apart right after. When Alabama took the field, it all went wrong fast. Clemson's freshman quarterback Trevor Lawrence tore them apart. Alabama didn't just lose, they got destroyed. 44-16, it was the worst loss Nick Saban ever had at Alabama. As Clemson celebrated, the internet exploded. Memes, jokes, tweets, everyone blamed Drake. The Drake Curse wasn't just an NBA thing anymore. Now it lived in college football too. People say the curse is nonsense, just bad timing. But each time, Drake backs a team and they lose. The legend grows. Alabama's 2019 blowout is still one of the biggest examples. It turned the Drake Curse into real college football talk. So if you see Drake cheering for your team, be careful. He doesn't play, tackle, or coach. He just shows up hands sometimes. That's enough to ruin everything. The Heisman Curse, winning the biggest award in college football, should make you a legend sometimes. It makes you cursed. The Heisman Curse is one of the most talked about superstitions. In college football, it claims that players who win the Heisman Trophy often see their luck run out fast. Since the Heisman started in 1935, winners have only won about half of their bowl games. But in some years, that luck is even worse. Between 2003 and 2008, the curse felt real. In that stretch, 6 Heisman winners went 1-5 in bowl games. Some of the losses were brutal. Reggie Bush and Matt Leinart each won a Heisman but lost BCS title games when everyone expected them to win. Troy Smith won the Heisman for Ohio State in 2006 but got crushed 41-14 by Florida in the 2007 championship. Watching these star players come up short over and over made the curse feel unstoppable. And it doesn't stop in college. Many Heisman winners struggle in the NFL too. Gino Torretta, Eric Crouch, and Jason White were college stars who barely made it in the pros. Some never played a regular season game. Others like Johnny Manziel burned out fast, big hype, short careers. Of course some players break the curse. Barry Sanders, Charles Woodson, and Marcus Allen had Hall of Fame careers and won big games. But they are the exception, not the rule. Even now, fans still wonder, will this year's Heisman winner survive the curse? Every time that bronze statue is handed over, people hold their breath. Because in college football, the Heisman is a dream come true until it's not. Georgia Dome Curse. Tennessee Vols. Winning should lift you up, but for Tennessee, the Georgia Dome did the opposite. The Georgia Dome Curse is one of the strangest stories in college football. For nearly a decade, the Tennessee Volunteers turned trips to Atlanta's Georgia Dome into pure heartbreak. From 2000 to 2009, if Tennessee showed up at the Dome, fans braced for bad news. The nightmare truly began in 2001. Tennessee rolled into the SEC championship ranked No. 2 in the country, 1 win over LSU, and they were headed to the national title game. LSU even had to use a backup quarterback. Easy, right? Wrong. Nick Saban's Tigers shocked the Vols 31-21 upset, and one ruined dream. Many fans point to that night as the start of Tennessee's long slide from powerhouse to punchline. But the Dome didn't stop there. Tennessee returned in 2004 for another SEC title shot, beat Auburn, get revenge, maybe snag a big bowl. Instead, another loss. Then came 2007. Same story. Big hopes, SEC championship. Another heartbreak in Atlanta. It wasn't just championship games either. The Peach Bowl in Atlanta turned into a nightmare for Tennessee too. They could be higher ranked, didn't matter. Look better on paper, didn't matter. When they stepped into the Georgia Dome, they stepped out with another sad flight home. Fans started calling the Dome cursed. Some even joked Tennessee should just drive around Atlanta forever rather than set foot inside. When the Dome was finally torn down, volume fans half wondered if they should dance on the rubble. Today, the Dome is gone, replaced by Mercedes-Benz Stadium. But ask any Tennessee fan, does the curse still linger? Maybe, because when it came to the Georgia Dome, the only thing certain for Tennessee was a heartbreak. The curse of the number 2 ranking being No. 2 should feel like you're next in line for the crown, but in college football, it often feels like you're marked for disaster. The curse of the number 2 ranking is one of the strangest and most talked about superstitions in the sport. The idea is simple. If your team is sitting at No. 2 late in the season, brace yourself, bad things are coming. This curse reached legendary status in 2007, a year that college football fans still call the year of the upset. From early October through December, the team at No. 2 fell apart 7 times in 9 weeks. It didn't matter how strong they looked, being second was like wearing a target. It all started on October 6th. The USC was ranked No. 2 and was a massive favorite by 41 points over lowly Stanford. USC hadn't lost at home in 35 games. Final score? Stanford 24, USC 23. The curse had arrived. Next week, California took over at No. 2 and immediately lost to Oregon State. After that, South Florida, sitting pretty at No. 2, lost to Rutgers. Then Boston College fell to Florida State. One by one, these top teams fell to underdogs, sending fans and sports writers into a frenzy, and it didn't stop. Later that season, Oregon, Kansas, and West Virginia each rose to No. 2 and lost when it mattered most. The worst heartbreak came when Missouri, ranked No. 2, lost the Big 12 title game, and West Virginia, also No. 2, got stunned by unranked Pitt. Fans started to say it wasn't bad luck anymore, it was a curse. Being No. 1 had pressure, but No. 2 seemed to carry something darker. You're close to the dream. Then you trip right before the finish line. The Citadel Cemetery Curse. This next curse might send shivers down your spine. Disturb the dead. Play with the living. The Citadel learned that the hard way. Deep in Charleston, South Carolina, sits Johnson Hagood Stadium, home to the Citadel Bulldogs. But this isn't just any football field, it's built on secrets and bones. Back in 1948, the city built the stadium on top of an old Confederate mariners' cemetery. The plan was to move the graves, although they only moved the headstones. The bodies stayed behind. The ground holds more than dirt. Under the homestands, under the parking lot, beneath the 20-yard line, are remains of old sailors and Civil War men. In the 1990s and 2000s, workers digging found what no one wanted to find: stacked coffins, sunken wood, bones that should have been left in peace until the living woke them up. Some call it a ghost story. Citadel fans call it the Cemetery Curse. The Bulldogs have fought hard for wins, but big moments slip through their fingers. Seasons fall apart. Playoff dreams vanish in the cold Charleston air, and people whisper, maybe you shouldn't build a football field on men who never got to rest. Years later, the remains were moved to Magnolia Cemetery, finally laid to rest with Confederate honors. But the legend didn't leave. Every missed kick, every fourth quarter collapse, every heartbreaking loss at Johnson Hagood feels like a tap on the shoulder by the dead. We're still here. You can repaint the stands. You can change the turf. But under that field lies a warning. Sometimes the dead do more than sleep. And if you disturb them, they might just show up every Saturday game to remind you. South Carolina's Chicken Curse. The Chicken Curse is one of college football's weirdest legends, born from heartbreak and whispered across South Carolina tailgates for over a century. It all goes back to Ben Pitchfork Tillman, a fiery politician and Clemson founder. Angry that lawmakers wouldn't back his beloved Tigers, he's said to have slammed his pitchfork into the University of South Carolina's campus and spat out a promise: the Gamecocks will never win anything big. Some say the ground stayed cursed from that moment on. For decades, the bad luck stuck. Near misses, losing seasons. Heartbreak so common, it felt personal. By 1992, before South Carolina's first SEC game, desperate fans tried something drastic: a curse-breaking ceremony. They hired a witch doctor. There was a huge cauldron, feathers, smoke, and wild chants under the stadium lights. They hoped the curse would jump to Clemson once and for all, but the chicken just laughed. That same season, the Gamecocks dropped game after game, losing their SEC debut to Georgia. The curse stayed perched right there in Columbia. This wasn't new. In 1984, South Carolina was 9-0 and ranked No. 2, dreams of an Orange Bowl parade. Then Navy showed up and smashed them 38-21. No championship, just tears and tailgate stories. Through the 90s, bowl games mocked them too. 11 trees leaving losses. They finally broke that streak in 1995, but many fans swore the curse just took a nap. Years later, the Gamecocks won a baseball national title in 2010, and some said the hex was gone. But every time South Carolina football lines up for something big, there's always that spooky voice in the bleachers: the chicken's still watching. The Gatorade Curse. The Gatorade Curse is another college football's strangest tale. It all started in 1965, when a doctor named Robert Cade and his team at the University of Florida created a drink to help Gators players survive the brutal Florida heat. They called it Gatorade. It worked. Players stopped dropping like flies in the fourth quarter. Florida even won its first ever Orange Bowl in 1967, outlasting Georgia Tech in the sticky Miami night. But then something weird happened. As Gatorade took over the world's sidelines from high schools to the NFL, Florida's own championship dreams stayed stuck. They had talent, they had speed, they had the famous drink every other team wanted. But year after year, the big trophy stayed out of reach. They had stars like Emmitt Smith tearing up the field in the late 80s. Didn't matter. They had packed stadiums, roaring fans, a pipeline of NFL talent, still no national title. By the 80s and early 90s, fans joked they'd traded championships for coolers of lemon-lime. The whispers grew into the Gatorade Curse. The idea that the drink that fueled winners everywhere else somehow held the Gators back. It was like football karma having a laugh. Finally, in 1996, the curse cracked. Head coach Steve Spurrier, the head ball coach, led the Gators to a 52-20 beatdown of Florida State in the Sugar Bowl, sealing Florida's first national championship since then. Florida has won more national titles and built a true powerhouse. The curse just an old story now. But every time the Gatorade gets poured on a coach's head, some fans remember those years of heartbreak. The curse of the SEC, East champion. The curse of the SEC's champion is one of those college football jinxes that feels too real to ignore. Since the SEC split into East and West divisions in 1992, something strange keeps happening. Teams that win the East often crash and burn when it matters most. And sometimes, they don't recover for years. Take for instance the Florida Gators in 2009. They had Tim Tebow, the golden boy of college football, a team stacked with talent, and all the hype in the world. Florida was supposed to handle Alabama in the SEC championship. Instead, Alabama stomped them 32-13. Florida's dream season ended right there. The next year, a forgettable 8-5 record and head coach Urban Meyer quitting. The curse didn't just ruin a game, it cracked the program for a while. Then there's Missouri, the surprise kings of the East in 2013 and 2014. Both times the Tigers made it to Atlanta with high hopes. Both times, the West sent them home battered. Auburn ran wild on them in 2013. Then Alabama did what Alabama does in 2014. After those losses, Missouri slid backward fast, falling out of the SEC spotlight. Georgia knows the feeling too. The Bulldogs lost the title game in 2011 and 2012, then watched the next seasons slip away with injuries, close calls, and endless what-ifs. And don't forget Tennessee. They won the East in 2007, lost the championship game, and then vanished from serious contention for years. Why does it keep happening? Some say the West Alabama, LSU, Auburn just plays on another level. Others blame the heartbreak. One crushing loss in Atlanta can wreck a locker room and chase away a coach. So every fall, when an East team clinches their ticket to Atlanta, fans smile. But they hold their breath too, because winning the East might just cost you everything else. Curse of the Texas quarterback. This began in 2005, when Vince Young did what Longhorn fans still dream about. He single-handedly beat USC in the Rose Bowl, sealed a national title, and walked off like a hero in burnt orange. But when Vince left, the shine left too, at least for Texas quarterbacks. For a moment, Colt McCoy brought hope back. In 2009, he led Texas to another national title game against Alabama. But in the first quarter, McCoy took a hit, hurt his shoulder, and never came back in. Texas lost, and something shifted. After that, the position turned into a revolving door. Garrett Gilbert was supposed to be the next big star, a 5-star recruit. Big arm, all the hype, but he struggled badly, transferred out, and the search started again. Next came Case McCoy, David Ash, Tyrone Swoops, Jared Hurd, Shane Book, Sam Ehlinger all showed flashes. None could bring Texas back to Vince Young heights. Then came the new hope, Quinn Ewers, the mullet kid with a rocket arm. Then Arch Manning, carrying a royal football name, but even they feel the weight. Ewers has battled injuries and ups and downs. Texas fans keep waiting for that old magic. Every September, the same question: is this the guy? The list of quarterbacks since 2005 reads like a warning. For Texas, it's not just about talent, it's about living in Vince Young's giant shadow. Until someone steps up and finishes the job, the curse of the Texas quarterback sits on the sideline, helmet on, waiting to ruin another dream drive in Austin. The curse of the four horsemen lives deep in the heart of Notre Dame football. It starts in 1924, when four young backs Harry Stuhlder, Don Miller, Jim Crowley, and Elmer Ladden ran the field like thunder on horseback. Sports writer Grantland Rice saw them storm the Polo Grounds and called them the Four Horsemen. The name stuck. So did the pressure. During their time, Notre Dame was almost untouchable. They lost only 2 games, both to Nebraska, and ended that magical run by beating Stanford 27-10 in the 1925 Rose Bowl, a perfect 10-0 season. A legend that would haunt every Notre Dame team after them. The immediate curse? Expectations that never die? In 1973, Notre Dame was back in the spotlight but stumbled against Alabama in the Sugar Bowl. Years later, the 1993 game of the century should have crowned the Irish Kings again. One more stop against Boston College was all they needed. Instead, Boston College's last-second field goal ruined everything. Heartbreak in South Bend. More pain followed. In the BCS era, Notre Dame reached big stages but found only more ghosts. The 2013 BCS title game, Alabama destroyed them. The 2018 playoff, Clemson showed no mercy. For every hot start, a cold finish waited. Fans joke, the Four Horsemen never left. Their statues, old photos, and grainy film clips still stand watch, reminding every new quarterback and coach what true perfection looked like. It's not a real curse. They say just the weight of trying to live up to history's tallest shadow. So each fall, when Notre Dame runs out of that tunnel, the crowd roars. But somewhere behind the cheers, the four horsemen ride again whispering, "Catch us if you can."